There are some other considerations when using Hive, so let's look at them here. Of course, we're going to look both at the H-based tables and the Hive queries when we're looking at our implementation. And there are a number of ways that you can consider query optimization for Hive. The reason I included the H-based tables is there's a whole lot of documentation and information about using subsets. There's another set of query optimization techniques around CBO, or cost-based optimization. Now, in order to understand cost-based optimization, you have to understand the execution methods and processes and where the bottlenecks are when you're executing a Hive query. Another group of query optimizations is around using column-based statistics, and this is somewhat analogous to relational indexing, but again, it's not the same thing. I wanted to show you an example of a Hive query plan. There is a command, and you can see it here at the top of the screen, explain, that you can run before a Hive query, which will give you a text-based output of how that particular query has been run on that particular Hadoop cluster. The way you read this is from bottom to top, so that you can see it starts first with 00, which is scanning the HDFS system for the customer address table. And you can see there's one partition here, but most commonly in production, you'd have multiple partitions, and it shows you the size. And step 1 is to perform the aggregate. So the aggregate is counting for each partition. So this is analogous to the map function. If you had more partitions, you would have more instances of this first aggregate. Step 2 is the exchange. And this is showing you the shuffle and sort phase of the MapReduce job. And you can see that this is unpartitioned because we have only one partition. Step 3 is the reduce phase, the merge finalize. So what we're doing here is we're taking the output from each of the individual aggregates, or the mappers, and then we are reducing them, or we're merging them to one final total count. So this is a very, very simple example just to get us started, because again, the query plans and the process look deceptively similar to relational query plans, but really they bear a little resemblance because the underlying processes are MapReduce, even though we have a relational-like statement on select count star from customer address up at the top. Next, we want to look at Hive by example. In order to do this, we can look at one of the distributions, and we're going to look at Cloudera. Cloudera includes a Hue tool, which is a graphical browser, which makes it really easy for us to just spin up and check out some of their sample Hive queries. In order to run these samples, you have to install them on your developer cluster, and I'll show you how to do that in the demo coming up next.